So you guys have probably seen the new Rosewill 4U chassis. This is the RSV-4015L. So this is the newer version of the old 4000 series. I believe all the old 4000 series were L 4000 some number, so like 4050 or 4005 or whatever they may be. They had a bunch of different numbers. So let's take a look and see what some of the differences are right off the bat of this particular chassis compared to the previous generation. Almost immediately, the first thing you'll notice is that the grille is actually different on the newer versions than the previous versions, and they have a slightly nicer aesthetic like all around the entire chassis. It's a much nicer matte finish. The fans are a little bit quieter, I would say. I don't have any data to back that up. And then of course the biggest change is now we have USB 3.0 on the front, which is so nice to see. Now opening this thing up is actually quite a bear because they have screw holes all around the edges of the top to keep the, all around the edges to keep the lid of this thing closed. And I would say this is actually a lot easier to open than the previous generation because on the previous generation there used to be like these two little pillars that stuck up, and they put a lot of pressure on the top of this here that actually kept the lid closed, which was actually really nice. It was kind of a pain in the rear, but you know, this is a terrible design in my opinion, to always have to screw and unscrew this thing every time you want to open it up. And I know with servers you don't typically do that, but for me that's a very big pain in the arse because my servers basically live in a constant ever-changing test environment. So on the inside, this is an SSI motherboard. This is about as big as they come, and you can see it's got perfect amount of space in here. It does come to the very edge of this lip. I know it's probably pretty hard to see. But again, it fits in here, everything fits perfectly fine, and there's no complaints in that regard. Now this this server does come with a fan bracket holder thing that usually sits right about here. So basically where you see these cutouts are, they're on both sides. You can basically move this either towards the back or towards the front to give yourself more space depending on your motherboard size. But obviously with, you know, a dual CPU system, they're going to take up a lot of space, and then as soon as you plop in a nice heatsink, you're pretty much done. There's no way to actually keep this mounted in here. With everything in here. And the reason why I can't mount it in here is actually because of the RAM, not because of the heatsink. The RAM is just too high and this is too low. So it's kind of nice as they give you all of these extra fans now, but the only problem with these Rosewill fans is that they are 3-pin fans and not PWM. It would have been really awesome to see PWM fans here, but they didn't include it. Now, one thing you can use this bracket for, which is another great reason, if you remove all of these fans, you could, in theory, mount a radiator to it, but unfortunately, as you can see that they're spaced out and radiator fans are literally right on top of each other, you would only be able to use 4 screws to hold your radiator in if it's like a 360 millimeter rad. I have an old video on this and you can kind of see me do it. I'll drop a link for anyone who's interested. So yeah, so you only be able to use 4 of those things. Now, one thing that's cool about having this extra space is if, let's say you had 2 CPUs and you wanted 2 individual CPU coolers, or let's say you wanted a CPU radiator here and then you wanted a GPU radiator here, or vice versa, you could actually get away with that because they give you some gap like between each of the fans, which is really nice to see. But again, you know, it's kind of up to you what you want to do with your design. I prefer the 360 millimeter fans myself, and you know, the four screws would be able to hold it in just fine, and you'd be able to get really good performance, and it doesn't honestly truly matter unless you move this thing around a lot. Now, moving on, honestly, there's not much else to really talk about in here except for these very, very awful drive bays. So the drive bays at first glance are pretty cool. I don't know if I can get this thing out. Okay, let's try a different one. So the drive, we'll try the one below. There we go. So these drive caddies are really cool. The drive bays are really cool. This is a much nicer upgrade compared to the previous generation. However, there's one critical flaw. These are not quite exactly designed for 3.5-inch drives. Now they are, but what I mean by that is if you have a 3.5-inch drive like one of these Western Digital shuck drives, it's too tall. And what I mean by that is, so here, well, this drive's not screwed all the way in, but that's okay. So the drive should be the same height as this. And if you're familiar with hard drives at all, there's actually a few, or maybe not really a few, but a couple different versions. You have these big, thick boys here that have a lot of disks inside of them, and I wouldn't say they're tall, but they're about normal size. And then you also have the smaller ones that are just a little bit thinner on top. And that's what I think this is made for. This is not made for these drives. And what I mean by that is, so if this drive right here were to be in this top slot, and then I were to try to put a drive below it, as you can actually see, I've actually skipped a slot here. So this drive was sitting here, and then this other drive is actually beneath it, or well, I skipped a slot, so it's beneath it, because what happens is if you have this drive below another drive, you get this like rubbing action, and like you can't remove the drives very easily. And the reason why is because you have these really thick rubber grommets, I guess, or washers, whatever they're supposed to be, and they catch on top of these drives. So I guess I can show you, but this server's actually running right now, so this is not dangerous at all. Give me 1 second. All right, so I got those other drives removed, and I'm basically just gonna plop this in. And what you'll notice is, so I'm putting a pretty good amount of force on that to get it in there. Now, you probably can't tell, but it's rubbing right up against the drive below it. See how there's virtually no clearance there between these two drives? That's exactly what the problem is. Now, and it's even harder to get removed, especially if you get it slid all the way back in there. So I don't know if that was an oversight on Rosewill's part, or if this chassis is not designed to work with these kind of hard drives. Now, their marketing does say that they accept 3.5-inch drives, and they're not wrong, they do, but these are just too tall, and they're not made to fit in here, which is a huge downside. And the next problem with that is, on the previous generations, this entire system right here was modular. So if you wanted to have just fans, you could do that, but now everything is riveted in, so you can't remove these if you wanted to. So this is actually, in my opinion, a downgrade compared to the previous generation, because they've taken away the modularness, if that's even a word, of this kind of system. But is that a problem? That's really up to you and your configuration. There are definitely much better server chassis that are for these hard drives like this, or just hard drives in general, that allow you to do hot swapping and all that jazz. But that's not why I bought this chassis. This is just my test server chassis. So I kind of was already aware of this problem before I bought it. But again, for anyone that's looking at this specific chassis, I don't know if I could recommend it, especially if you have a bunch of Western Digital shuck drives, or the thick boys, even from Seagate. If you have the little thinner ones, they would fit perfectly fine, I think. Now, if you have SSDs, so these are all SSDs on the left, it's perfectly fine, no problems. The system works really well for SSDs, I think. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all the highlights. There's not really much else to say about this chassis. I guess the one thing I do like about it is they include black covers now, and then they have black screws, which is nice. I don't think the old generation has these fans. They may, but these are actually significantly quieter than the previous generation, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't really know what else there is to talk about with this chassis. It's good enough for me. I think if you are going to plan on putting a bunch of thick hard drives in it, like I said before, I would steer clear of this and look at getting something else. All right, so this was just a pretty quick video because I wanted to take a look at this specific chassis a little bit more in detail. I will leave a link in the description below because I'm not saying it's not worth a buy, but you have to understand the limitations of this chassis before you just go out and buy it. So you'll find a link for it in the description if you are interested in buying it, especially if you plan on doing like an SSD array. But you have to know there's no hot swapping, which is a pretty big downside in a lot of cases. But for me, not a big deal because again, it's just a test server chassis and it's very compatible with a lot of different motherboards because of its size, you know, it being 4U and whatnot. But anyway, I just want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.